Barack Obama has perfected a three-step maneuver that could never even be attempted by a politician lacking his historical skill or cool cynicism. First, denounce your presidential predecessor for a given policy. Energize the party's base by capturing their illusions. Capitalize upon your predecessor's unpopularity. Pretend to reverse the policy with a symbolic act while adopting the exact policy, knowing it's the only way to govern without the population understanding what you're up to. This week's example is Obama's grandstanding over $165 million in bonuses paid to executives of AIG, which he had already known about and approved, which received billions, if not trillions, in federal bailout money. He feigns outrage when the population is distressed. How do they justify this outrage to the taxpayers who keep the company afloat? But his Treasury Department knew about the bonuses, which amounted to 55 cents per American. They knew about it ages ago. He also knows there isn't much the government can do to claw the money back. Unlike the count limit of this column, Obama's perfidy knows no limits. He's become more dangerous to democracy and basic rights than George W. Bush because he does the same thing without people recognizing what he's up to. Unlike Bush, he has no political opposition. Cheney may nitpick, but they're all happy to see Bush's policies remaining in place. Now that's this is a columnist for the Universal Press Syndicate.
Well, I totally agree with what you're saying there. I just find that it's really interesting that the rhetoric that I'm hearing thrown around so much in that direction is the socialistic rhetoric of...
You heard socialistic rhetoric from who?
People out there speaking of this administration.
Well, I mean, this is again what I called cloud cuckoo land. This is it's the diametric opposite. Every single piece of rhetoric has been to laud the capitalist system and to promise to sustain it. Every single appointment comes from the captains of banking and corporate capital and the very administrators and functionaries who serviced Bush and Reagan and Clinton and the whole gang. So, you know, this is socialism? Are you serious? This is like telling me that the medieval popes were emulating the Sermon on the Mount. Give me a break.
Well, all I'm just saying is this is what I'm hearing said. I didn't, you know, and so...
Well, a lot of people are comparing some of his programs to the New Deal in the sense that he has proposed putting an awful lot of money into green technologies and building a smart grid and putting Americans...
Yeah, he uses a certain rhetoric in order to defuse, contain, and deflect the mass opposition of working people in the United States, fostering the illusion of reformism and change. And indeed, the talk about green and health care and this is sheer tokenism, because not a dime will be left over for that after they've finished empowering the gangster bankers with their trillions. They will give nothing to working people. They will put it in the hands of insurance companies and stockbrokers as they go on to gut Social Security in the process. It's the same old, same old. They soap you to in election time, and they sell you out the day after.
I see what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
I said I see what you're saying. I understand it. I agree.
You know, if you actually look at what happens in an American election, including national elections, you have roughly about 52% of the electorate participate, but in reality, that's 52% of the registered voters. And only about 55% of the eligible electorate registers to vote. So you're really talking about something like 25% of the electorate, and you cut that between the two parties, and these fakers are getting around 12.5% of the electoral vote, and people hold their nose when they go to the ballot box. I'm not even talking about a non-presidential election year when the turnout is 29% of the registered voters which is 14 or 15% of the eligible electorate. In short, what people are saying is, these are all crooks. They lie to you every minute, and the second they're in office, they do the same old, same old. There's nothing out there for us. It's not because folks are indifferent. It's not because folks are stupid. It's because they have too much common sense. They've lived it. They've seen it. Deep down, the cells are counting. And what people are waiting for and people are going to organize for is some form of political struggle where we call the shots, where the people who we are supporting come from us, look like us, are answerable to us, are out of our own experience, and are not financed by our class enemies. That's the issue here for American society, as it is for societies across this planet.
Well, Ralph, I'd like to really thank you for coming on our program and giving us, insight into this. Do you have any closing comments or?
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity I know that, it's been something of a monologue, and I apologize for that, but these are, I think, issues that will address, I hope, people's real lived experience, and I would like to encourage people to go to our website, which is takingaimradio.com, where you can download any of our programs of the last 8 years gratis. And we hope to hear from you. You can contact us at our website, or at you can contact us at www.takingaim.com, and we hope to hear from you. And I thank you again for the opportunity to speak to your audience.
Okay, thank you, Ralph, and also Melodee. Thank you to you, and we'll look forward to the next one.
Thank you, Melodee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Good night.